and we're at the speed down to 2,500.
Good point. Wherever you reduce speed to 180.
BlackBox.
Plus, yeah, we're recording. So, yeah, we're talking about COVID. Seems to be a common thing in 2020.
Yeah.
But what's important today is, oh man, I'm a little fired up because some things changed here in Virginia just about a week and a half ago, where we kind of went back to where we were middle of the summer.
Phase one.
And so I brought on one of my guests who was with us. John, you were here
A couple months ago.
Mm-hmm. John is a small business owner, a very successful small business owner pre-COVID. And I would say today is still successful because he's here and he's back today. And we want to talk about the essentials of small business and how important it is for these folks in our community to thrive, not just survive, but thrive.
Yeah.
So we need your help today on this show to help small businesses like John Telfer and Chef by Design, and a lot of people in the service and entertainment industry. They are essential, Mr. Governor. They need to be back to work.
Yeah.
Please quit killing our business here in Virginia and abroad. Allow these people to go back to work. Allow people to be personally responsible for their health and to take personal responsibility in safeguarding. We're smart citizens, Mr. Governor.
Yeah.
We can do this and not hurt people. So I wanted to take the opportunity with my good friend today, Mr. John Telfer, to have him back on the show, and some innovation that he's come up with in his business to survive this season, but to show that community is essential. So, man, you got up this morning at 4 a.m. to do this for us.
Yeah, 4 a.m.
You are awesome. And
Kind of brings me back to my apprenticeship days.
wow. And
When you're
well,
working
this is apprenticeship.
20 hours.
I want to see expert John, because I am ready to dig in. I don't even want to talk. I just want to chow down.
Some good food, too.
So usually what we do, John, and you're aware of this, you've been on the show before, is we like to toast our nation's military. So I want to do that today, but I want to add one more to that, and that's our nation's small business.
Yep.
Like you, like myself.
That's good, Kenny.
So let's raise a glass if we could. We'll start out with a little Johnny Walker Blue Label. Johnny Walker, help small business. Help us out. Reach out to us. I'm running low
Let's
here.
go.
We need some help. So you've got a little bit of time. I think we've got maybe 2 more episodes. We need some help from you. Small business needs your help. But this is for our small business.
Yep.
This is for veterans who go out and start business. So cheers to all
First
of you.
responders.
Yes.
You know, gosh, all these guys have been badass this year.
Yeah.
Really.
So much. Thank you for our first responders. Thank you for those people who do show up to work every day and put themselves at risk of catching anything, not just COVID,
Right?
but people who are in the community every day serving.
They're in harm's way.
Thank you.
Yep.
We appreciate you. Cheers. Well, that's a way to start out a meal.
It's a good morning.
At 7 a.m. So this is a special episode today. We're inserting John and his business in today to do something that's more positive than the news we've been getting lately.
Yeah.
So John's got a beautiful thing that he and Marcy have come up with Chef by Design to serve our community during the holiday seasons. So John, tell us your idea. What do you got going on, man?
Ken, thanks for having me again. And we're just truly humbled and thankful for this opportunity to speak into people's lives and to hopefully get the ball rolling here in this state, in this country, with getting small business back to work again.
Yeah.
You hear those terms, essential business and everything, and we touched on it a little bit back at the studio there. And if you're running a small business, you're essential. Because
Right.
you have a family, you have children, you have bills to pay and taxes to pay.
Well, here's what's weird about essential. If you're a small business and you're not essential, guess what your community does?
Yeah,
It informs you pretty quickly by not doing business with you.
correct.
So it kind of works itself out. So if you're non-essential, if you have a business plan, if you have a business strategy that doesn't work, you won't stay in business long.
Or you have the wrong model.
Or you have the wrong model.
and you're
That's
just
a good point. But for government, big government to step in, for local government to step in and tell us, and for them to have the wisdom to say that we're essential
Right.
and you're not, or you're essential and I'm not,
right.
how did they get to decide that? And from what rule book,
Right.
what code did they decide who's essential and who's not?
Well, I mean, you can.
I don't know the answer to that. Maybe you do.
I mean, you can. You look at communism and socialism and where it stems from.
Feels a
and
lot like
everything.
it, doesn't it?
There's a lot of red flags right now in this
Yeah.
country and
Yeah.
in the state. You know.
Yeah.
We're grown men and we have, beautiful wives and families, and we run successful businesses, and
Yeah.
we know what's going on. We have employees we take care of, their families and their children, and
Yeah.
it affects a lot of things and a lot of people, and it streamlines right into the community, especially if you like we are,
Yeah.
and I know you guys are, you give a lot into the community and you give back.
Yeah.
And when you strong arm somebody like this for a year, and there's we can't do business.
Yeah.
25 or less, we're in the event industry, and the event industry has been crippled by this. This is, it's ridiculous. Wear a mask,
Yeah.
if it's, if it happens.
If you feel bad,
Yeah.
stay home.
Stay home if you're sick.
Yeah. So
proper
quarantine yourself.
sanitation. Yeah.
Give citizens an opportunity to use appropriate behavior.
Yeah, we're not children here. This
Right.
is.
So I'm gonna just reach out to Governor Northam right now and say, hey, Governor Northam, I actually know you as Dr. Northam. You treated
Yeah.
my daughter Lizzie. No HIPAA violations here, but my daughter has a permanent disability. He was her neurologist before he got into politics. I know you as a good man. I really do. And I'm going to have a lot of people hate on me who aren't, you're not their most favorite person, Governor Northam. Yeah. But I know you as a good person. I know you as a reasonable person. But what you are mandating over our small business here in Virginia is draconian.
Yep.
It's unnecessary. Allow business owners to take on personal responsibility to protect their employees and to protect their customers and to do the right thing. Yep. Small business needs to be open. People are tired of sitting at home for 8-9 months now.
Yeah.
And I hear it every day.
Ken, the science behind this is quite obvious. It's right in front of our face.
Yeah.
If it's 99.8676 survival rate with this virus, a lot of people have died, and that's horrible.
Yeah.
But the figures.
Yeah, we're not downplaying the people who have lost a family
It's
member.
convoluted, the numbers,
Yeah.
and you don't get a true grasp. You just hear cases and this and that, and it's fear, and it's put a lot of people in a very difficult place, a lot of businesses.
Well, what's so sad to me, John, is that when we go and look at what's happened with alcohol sales, I drink. I'm not hating on alcohol, but
Right.
we're seeing alcohol-related incidents go up.
Yeah.
We're seeing suicide
Opioids and
go
depression.
up.
and-
All these things that we've been trying to treat and get a handle on, we're actually exacerbating those issues.
Yeah, we want to legalize marijuana.
Well, I as a libertarian, could get on board with that, and as a good Christian who loves Jesus,
for medicinal purposes, but other things behind that can really.
Pastor Clayton's gonna choke me out. Kenny, what? No, Clayton, don't get your panties in an uproar.
But there's a
teasing
lot of
them.
factors that are just I'm dealing with in business with husbands and wives. They're you're locked up, you're depressed, you can't work, you can't do this, can't do that, can't say this, and it's just it's affecting people.
And what's happening is the
to a greater
citizens
degree than
are
a
pitting
virus.
citizens. They're pitting against each other.
Yeah.
Kathleen was in line at the store, and a lady, and she's socially distanced. There's no one around her, and she's not a person that likes, just a mask over her face continually. So she takes it off because there's no one around her. A lady walks up behind her and calls her a Karen, and says that she's insensitive. And like, well, wait a minute. Is that the way a citizen, you don't know me.
Right.
Is that a way to start a conversation? Right, if you want me to make you feel more comfortable by putting a mask on, my mom used to say, a good old Southern woman, she'd say, Kenny, you catch far more flies with honey than you do with vinegar.
That's right.
And so I want to reach out to our individual citizens today is that if you think someone should be acting appropriately in community, why don't you first walk up to them and try to say something loving, say something kind, say something encouraging, funny.
We need to laugh here, folks.
No kidding. But to walk up to someone and start with a contentious conversation first.
Right.
You don't know what that person's gone through.
Right.
You don't know where that person's at in that individual moment.
Kenny, we've walked my sister-in-law through stage 4 cancer, bone cancer.
Wow.
That has a 2% survival rate this whole year and last year.
She's cured.
She's cured and healed.
That's awesome.
By the power of God.
Amen.
But I'm sorry. There's no virus, there's no sickness on earth that would compare to what she had walked through and everything. So let's put things in perspective across this country and what we're doing, what we're talking about here,
Right.
And, you talked about social distancing. There's just these terms, there's nothing social about it.
Right.
If you're sick, stay home.
Yeah.
Wipe your hands, cough, cover your mouth. Let's use our manners.
All those things that we had been taught to do since we were kids. But what's interesting, I posted this on my Instagram right at the beginning of COVID that back in the 1990s, do you remember when Michael Jordan played with the Bulls and played with the flu?
Yep.
Very contagious flu.
Yeah.
He played in a game and had one of his best games ever. And what's interesting about that game back then is that he was heralded. He was almost knighted for his efforts in that game, playing with like 102, 103 temp, which means he's contagious.
He could have played with COVID and still won.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Jordan, my all-time favorite, the GOAT.
He is the GOAT, the GOAT of basketball.
And all you guys that love LeBron and Kobe, rest in peace, Kobe.
Yeah. Michael's special.
Michael's the original,
He had
OG
the talent.
GOAT.
He had the
So
persona.
Paul Sinkus, hear it today. Not LeBron, not Kobe. Michael is the GOAT.
Yeah.
And over here, John Telfer is the GOAT of Chef by Design and all things chefery. That's a new word I made up there, guys.
That's a good one. I like that. Chefery.
Chefery.
You need a button for that.
Chefery. Yeah, I'll give myself a. Hey, we're gonna let this food get cold.
No,
can't
That's
do
what
it.
we're here for today.
But real quick, tell our audience, and we're going to help publish this. I'm going to spend money on getting this episode out to our local community.
Thank you, Kenny. Yeah.
To help share what you're doing as Chef by Design. So, tell me the idea that you and Marcy came up with.
So, let's do a little backtracking real fast here, and we'll do a Reader's Digest version of what we're doing here. Back when this whole thing started, we started to-go meals, and it was very successful. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter, we did everything. It was packaged raw, pre-seared ingredients in to-go containers where people just take them home and heat them up and just enjoy them.
Yeah.
So they weren't hot. They were ready to go. These are ready-to-eat foods that you can bake at home and prepare at home, toss a salad at home. And it went really well back then. And now, again, here we're back at Christmas doing the same thing. So it's this is Christmas dinner that we're doing here this year, and it's pretty big because we're in the Neon House, which is downtown Norfolk on Granby Street. We do events. We can do events up to 600 people. When Mr.
By the way,
Northam
Neon
descends.
House is beautiful, and thank you so much for opening up your business for us to worship.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'll tell you what,
Thank
that
you.
was so powerful last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
with
it's
that and everything.
been amazing.
So
Yeah, it's a massive breakthrough for people.
It's huge. People need that. People
Yeah.
need hope. They need that some fun, and loving.
Well, just the radical love of Jesus shows up.
That's right.
And for those who listen to this podcast that don't have a belief, it's okay. Hey, we still love you anyway.
That's right.
We still encourage you anyway to look for a personal relationship with Jesus.
Yeah.
It's not a cure-all.
No.
God doesn't come in and say, "Hey, love me," and your cancer is going to get cured,
Right.
or your business is going to survive.
Right.
But there's a difference between that relationship and having that eternal and internal joy by having that relationship.
I mean, you got somebody to physically walk with. I mean, he's not. You can't see him, but he's there. It's like you and me. I got somebody, a brother that can walk with in life, and there's a relationship.
That's
there,
what's essential.
and that's what's essential. We can agree on that this morning.
Yeah, Jinx, you owe me a soda. Right? So you and Marcy, you're beautiful people. You care about your community. Chef by Design. You've been in business for 20 years.
20 years, yeah. 12 years at Chef by Design, and then we had a bistro down here in Great Neck for about 8 years. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and look, if you don't understand business, we actually have a course we're launching in February that I'm so excited to get out. That is a financial literacy course, and I'm going to talk more about that. But it comes back to this as a business owner. When you decide to be a business owner and then take it to another tranche, another level, when you decide to be a business owner who's in entertainment or in food service or the restaurant business, it is one of the highest level of failure of all services out there. So when you decide to be a restaurateur or a chef, man, you are really taking some big risk.
Yeah. It's courageous.
And for you to survive it for 15 years, my hat's off to you.
Thank you.
But it's a passion. It's not about, everybody wants to make a living. Everybody wants to see an opportunity to thrive in their respective industry.
Right.
But you do this because I've watched you, man. You love cooking.
Yeah.
You love preparing. You love serving. And so you're in the right niche as a business owner because it's just part of your DNA.
What I tell cooks and what I tell people, you have to love this industry. You have to love food, because if you don't, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah. It gives you energy, right?
It really does.
You probably leave work or after church or after serving, which is where you get your energy, and you probably go home and collapse, don't you?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I could pretty much picture what it looks like when you...
I'll go for 2-3 days without eating sometimes when we're redlining things.
Holy cow.
I mean, our team is going. It's a very high performance team, and we're, front and back. They do an amazing job. My wife, she coordinates just some amazing events, and
you've done events for me, and I can. You haven't paid me. I haven't been endorsed to say I do this because I want to help you, John, and I want to help businesses like you, and I want our community to go out and please support small business.
Yeah, you know what? I tell the guys, I say, go support small businesses.
Yeah.
I don't care who they are.
Yeah.
You may pay a little more, but you're keeping the backbone of this nation alive, because small business is the backbone.
Absolutely.
It's not big business or medium business. It's small business.
And I want to be clear here. I'm not saying go boycott Amazon.
Right.
Because here's what's interesting. I read a stat that Amazon's stores, right, when we go shop at Amazon, 90-some% of Amazon business is small business.
Small business.
A person's just using their platform to have this internet mall where you can go buy stuff.
Yeah.
And we buy stuff on Amazon for my business all the time, from copy, paper, to toiletries, to food that we serve our clients here in our office.
Which is and then you have these yo-yos right now that are, the few of them that are using that platform to say the wrong things about the wrong individuals and everything. And that doesn't speak for the majority of the people that work for these businesses.
And all of us wish that we could have done what Jeff Bezos did.
Yeah.
Years ago, and I think 1995 or 1997, you guys can fact check me, 93? Noah's over there got me. He knows this. 1993, Jeff Bezos and his wife in a small apartment in San Francisco started Amazon. And so I look at that and I go, well, God, why not me?
Right.
And why not Chef by Design?
Right.
That whatever we do in our respective community, we should have a vision for excellence.
Yep.
We should have a vision that great things are going to come from my stewardship of business and
That's right.
entrepreneurship. And you're doing it, John. And I want to continue to help you thrive and show community that this is essential.
That's right.
That we have to rally around each other.
We really do. Yeah.
And instead of finding ways to divide, I don't care if you're a Democrat, Libertarian, if you are a Marxist or a fascist, you still got to eat.
Man,
right?
we can agree to disagree here. Let's go, folks. I mean, let's have some conversations.
Yeah,
and
and the best place to have conversation is over food.
yeah. What a better place.
The deals that are done over dining together are awesome. And today you've brought some food in that we can dine and we can sup over.
So this is Christmas dinner. This is 3/4 of Christmas dinner that we're offering at Chef by Design for this Christmas starting next week. We've gotten so many calls that are coming in right now that people want to pick them up this week. So what we're doing is we're going to run it this week, next week, and through New Year's.
So you're basically telling people, hey, it's a busy season,
Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
the governor unknowingly and unwillingly is trying to be the Scrooge.
Right.
And he's look, Dr. Northam, I'm kidding. Governor Northam, I'm kidding, but I'm not. Right?
We're calling you out a little bit, buddy.
We're calling you out. We're asking you to think with the frontal lobe that you are so familiar with as a neurologist.
Yeah, according to the Constitution.
Yeah. Be reasonable, sir.
Yeah.
Be reasonable with our citizens. You're literally killing our citizens, sir. Stop.
And it's affecting, like I said, it's affecting our kids and our children and businesses and other people associated with the businesses, our fish people, our produce companies. It's just
And I really do.
it's a trickle-down
I
effect.
don't want somebody to walk away from this and think, Kenny hates Governor Northam. I do not.
No.
I want to show him love.
didn't say it.
I want to
Yeah.
show him respect for the office that he holds. But I also want to say, hey, we have a responsibility as citizens to hold our elected officials accountable.
Yeah.
And say, sir, hey, help us here. Help us by not shutting us down.
Right.
Let's find a way to keep people open. We are smart people. Yeah. We've got an opportunity to really show the rest of the world how we can deal with a pandemic.
That's right.
And make it work. Even though bad things are happening, we can find opportunity in chaos.
That's right.
And what you've done over the last couple of weeks is you've found opportunity in chaos, John. Yeah. And I wanted to share with people how you're doing it in your respective business so that they could have encouragement in whatever business they're in. How do we get in front of people on a favorable basis to sell or promote our product? That's the great American way.
It is. It
So
really is.
what you're doing is that over Christmas, you're saying, hey, let me take some of the burden off of you.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of family, maybe you've got a grandma at home who can't, maybe she has comorbid factors.
Right.
Or a family member. Why not take them a beautifully served meal, ready to eat, prepared?
Yep. And Kenny, we also have gift baskets and dessert bento boxes that we're going to be selling here, and we're going to have pictures on our website for the holidays too. So if it's not a meal, it's a gift basket, or it's just desserts.
So price range that a person would pay for, like a meal that we see here today that you and I are hopefully going to enjoy really soon. What would a setup like this cost an individual? And this is really a lot of food for two people.
All our pricing is on our website for the Christmas dinners.
Okay.
And
what is that website?
www.chefbydesigncatering.com.
Chefbydesigncatering.com.
And there's a link for Christmas dinners. You can prepay right on the website there. You can call your order in, however you'd like to do it.
Guys, let's get this on our website. Let's get this up on Facebook, on Instagram. We want to help John get this out. And by the way, if you're a small business and you want some help getting your message out to the community, reach out to us at blackboxgroup.com, BlackBoxGRP.com.
They can email at support@BlackBox.
Ian just told me you can email support@blackboxgrp.com. And we'll talk to you about how we might be able to help you share with the community what you do in your business. And we're always looking for guests, and for people to help let
There's
the rest
some
of the world
seriously
know.
good small businesses out there.
Amazing
that do
businesses in
amazing
this area.
things, you know.
Really is.
And they do amazing things for the people in the community, too.
Right.
Some of the most gracious people on this earth.
And I'm not just saying this. I mean, John, you and Marcy are two beautiful people. We worship with you. But if your food sucked, I wouldn't have you on the show. I'm being really transparent here.
I don't
I
think
could
I'd be
love
in
you and I'd
business
go,
either.
John. Yeah, the essentialness of good food in your
It's
industry
very essential.
pretty essential. But I can tell you, amazing. And we've served together, and we've been in other churches in the past, and
Yeah.
used to do some things for business men's group.
Yeah.
So I want people to think out there today, not just about the holidays of how you could use Chef by Design.
New Year's, you know.
New Year's,
And
parties,
into January, you know.
small gatherings. You know, again, we want to do what's right,
Yep.
but you can't suffocate small business for a long period of time without there being some eternal consequence.
Right. And we're doing a couple at the Neon House where we're doing plated dinners for 25 or less right now. And
Yeah.
That's how we started our business.
Well,
And,
I told
3,
you
4
in church,
courses.
man,
It's
that
just-
one of the things I want to try to do is I met a guy in Franklin, Tennessee a week ago when I was out there on business, Guy Penrod, who used to be part of the Gaither Band. And what they're doing in the Franklin community in Tennessee, I hope we got infected by that hope that small businesses have in that community.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is what they're doing is that they're reaching out to their local citizens and they're saying, hey, we're open and we can be open responsibly.
Right.
And not only we open responsibly, but a lot of business owners right there in the little Franklin community, when they shut down at night, they reopen and they serve their community with worship, with music,
Yeah.
prayer.
Yeah.
And whatever you as a consumer are willing to let them do, they
Right.
will do for you, whether it's pray for you, whether it's encourage you, maybe connect people. And you have a great facility to do that. And so one of the things that, you and I have talked a little bit about and that we're going to continue to work on is using that facility you have to encourage our community to be better spiritual leaders, to be better people in their community, to be
Right.
Entrepreneurs,
Right.
and just servants to people.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's missing in society is that this cold and this very infectious cold
Yeah.
has polarized well-meaning people,
Right.
even in their own families. I've got family members that, we're at polar extremes in terms of our views.
Right.
And I'm like, man, let's not bog down on what we differ on. Let's come together on what we really, really believe is best for our local communities and our local business and our local churches.
Our families and our children.
And if we do
yeah,
that in
we're
small
missing that.
cells, that becomes infectious over the entire planet. That, what was infectious for me in Franklin lit a fire in me to say, oh, I've got a friend in Virginia Beach that I'm thinking of right now that I need to go back and encourage that what you're doing in the community
That's good, Kenny.
matters.
Yep.
Which is why we're sitting here today. And in church on Sunday, we're like, John, man, people need to know that you're offering this up. Yeah. And not only you, you might get so busy, and I'm going to believe and speak that over you, that you're so busy that your other catering friends have to go, John, hey, can we have some of that too?
Yeah.
Like today, if 700,000 people in Virginia Beach said, hey, I'd like to have a meal by Christmas Day.
Right.
You'd be
Let's go.
You'd be at capacity, right?
Yeah, and we'd have to.
Hey, we're going to call some of our friends.
We don't want to see people going out of business.
No,
You know,
it's
even our
bad for your
competitors.
industry for
You
people
don't
to go
want
out.
that.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Yeah. So, we're going to go to the next step now, which I'd like to put us there. Let's taste some of this food.
Oh,
Let's
we've been smelling it
celebrate
for
and
half hour now.
I know, oh my God! And one day AI is going to be able to let people not unless
Smell-o-vision?
unless I poot or something like that.
So let me tell you about the food. Let me tell you about the food real fast, Ken. Some of these are classics that I've done since my apprenticeship days, like the Tornado's Rossini. So it's a very classical dish after the composer Rossini, very famous French chef, put it together for him. And so you have the medallion of beef with the Madeira sauce and the foie gras on top there. Now, they're not going to get that for Christmas dinner. I knew where I was coming to, serving a general here this morning. So I added a little foie gras to our meal here this morning.
I'm so excited.
We have shrimp maison, which is, again, from my apprenticeship days. It's a house made, so it's fresh sherry, herbs, cream, a little butter, a little paprika, delicious au gratin potatoes that we make, the asparagus. So that's going to be your main course for Christmas. We have our Caesar salad with our homemade rolls.
Love Caesar salad.
And then our fresh crab cakes. They're one of a kind with the white wine sauce. I think on the Christmas menu, we have them with Cajun remoulade.
Wow.
And then we have for dessert the Yule log, the classic Yule log. So,
Which you didn't bring in today, but
right.
Sounds amazing.
My pastry chef, she's putting that together along with the dessert bento box and our baskets and everything. So we got a lot of things going on right now that people can call and just say, hey.
And a good news to report to everyone is that you actually texted me last night and was like, man, can we move this podcast around? Because orders are starting to come in for you guys. Right. And that's beautiful.
It is.
But I was like, hey, we want to get this out for you. And, we're busy too. People want to work with small business.
They do.
People want to be back to normal.
We had this couple, real quickly. They have walked in front of our shop here for the last 12 years, Chef by Design, and they're always commenting on how good it smells from outside. They do their daily walk. They're in their 80s, and just the sweetest couple in the world.
That's awesome.
And they're like, if you ever sell anything one day, let us know. We'll come over and. When we opened things up in the beginning of the year, they were there faithfully 5 days a week, just buying things from us. I mean, this is somebody that just walks in front of our building every day for 12 years, and so you never know, the impact you have on people and who wants something. You know?
Yeah.
It's
the old adage of doing well by doing good.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, John. Noah, you got some plates over there where we can do the appetizer portion of this grandiose meal.
And I served it with Marseillais today, the Marseillais wine. So
pork and
I didn't bring my Camus, which I'd like to serve with
Camus,
it,
one of my favorites.
The Marseillais goes really well. Stands up with the filet.
Do you mind?
Buttery. Go ahead, Kenny. Dig in.
You know what? You're serving the community. Hand your plate over.
Oh, thank you.
Let me serve the master.
Beautiful. Oh, thank you.
You want two of these?
I'm good.
You want one for? We'll let the guys behind the camera.
Yeah, we got.
Here, come here, Noah. Go ahead. Reach in here. Let's make it awkward. There you go. Noah, give this plate back there behind the camera to those guys. Now that you got your hands full. All right. So, what is this? What is this made with?
This is the shrimp and crab cake. So it's our house specialty crab cake. White wine sauce.
Oh my God.
No fillers. Just pure deliciousness. Ken.
Oh my, yeah. So, cheers to many blessings and fruitful opportunities going into 2021. We curse COVID.
Curse it. We speak blessing. We
Blessing
speak healing.
over people.
Many
in our
cures,
nation.
many medicines to take care of this and to open up businesses in this country. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. That's good. That's tasty. I'm not a big white wine guy.
This is the only one I'll drink.
That's really good.
So I'm going to chew in the microphone here. Don't mind.
Well, you got to hear this. Man. I am not kidding you.
Nice and clean, isn't it?
So light, fluffy. And this is crab cake and shrimp?
Yep, shrimp and crab cake.
Okay. All right. Now, so that would be the appetizer.
That'd be an appetizer.
Are we doing salad now?
Caesar salad. Yep.
I'm not a
We make our
green
own.
guy.
We make our own bread to make our own croutons.
Do you really? What
Yeah,
kind of
we-
bread? Do you,
It's a soft baguette, and I have it in the hot box back there. But it's a house roll. We also do many different various artesian breads, some good sourdough, and so it
if
makes.
you can hear this?
There it is.
Can you hear it?
Yep, I hear it. Loud and clear, like my dog. My wife will get that one.
So,
That's good stuff.
crunchy. Is that romaine? Is that what's in Caesar?
Romaine.
Yeah. Now, Caesar, the dressing, is that made with sardines? Is
Anchovies, fresh anchovies.
anchovies?
They usually
What-
do tableside and really nice high-end steakhouses.
Oh, those croutons are amazing.
And they're delicious, nice and crunchy and fresh. Just, it's good.
All right, I'm gonna have one more bite of this. Man, what a way to start the day with a meal here.
Gosh. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. We went from Johnny Walker to
Dude,
crab cakes, to filet, Marseillais.
thank you, Noah.
Can we go home?
You got work to do.
I got work to do, though.
Wow. Well, I've got a client coming in this morning who was a VP for Golden Corral, right? And yeah, it's kind of the big trough, the big business, but it was local business. And, you know, those buffets have suffered immensely. If you're in the buffet business, I feel horribly for you.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
You're really,
And
you're
so,
really strong-armed there.
oh man.
Yeah.
So we got to get small business back to work.
Yeah.
So, have I said that a couple of times already this morning?
I think we need to repeat it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Governor Northern,
Mr. Governor, let's go.
please
Come on.
get our small business back open.
We have to.
Be innovative. Figure out a way to get them back to work.
People,
All right.
people be responsible here.
And Governor Northern, please order some chef by design. You would enjoy this. I know you would.
We actually cook for him.
Do
at
you
a
really?
couple small events, yeah. So he knows our food.
And you know how important it is to have chef by design, getting food in my belly. Get in my belly.
How's your filet?
Haven't had it yet. I ate a
Okay.
shrimp,
Shrimp.
but I will give the filet. And you said there's some foie gras.
Foie gras right on top there.
Did I say that wrong?
Nope.
Let me get a little slither of that. Oh, wow. So, look at that filet. Look at the color. So good,
Prime
John.
filet, yeah. Nicely aged.
These guys do not play. Shrimp, I'm like, that's probably one of my favorite creatures on the planet. Shrimp.
Yeah.
Some bottom dwellers.
Yeah.
You know?
They're so good.
Yeah. Okay. What is this?
So that's the dauphinoise potato or au gratin potato. Sliced cooked potatoes with a custard and black diamond cheddar cheese.
Oh, gosh, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing this in today
Oh, you're welcome.
and sharing with
My
us. This
pleasure.
is delicious. So, if you were to look at revenue, and you don't have to give me exact numbers, but if you were to look at your revenue from this time last year, how much by percentage has your business been affected?
Okay, 90%. Easy. Yeah. I mean, we survived through the years or through the year with deposits and, you know, parties and everything.
Yeah.
And when you're not catering, you know, your lines of credit
You guys, I shouldn't be a pig and eat all this.
and everything, they dwindle.
I want to eat all this, John. So
I
I
do
don't
too.
want anybody to mistake that I am not. But we got an interview to do. But all right, I'm blown away. 90%.
Yeah.
You help small business owners understand what you and Marcy have done to survive this.
Right. Well, as a catering business, now, when we lost that 90% of business this year, most of the business has rescheduled for next year, and we've honored all the contracts and everything through that, and we've gotten deposits for these weddings. So that's usually helps us sustain as we do business throughout the year. Because you got all things behind the scenes that our event producers and everything do, and emails and telephone calls and sites visits and rentals and everything.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that is going on behind the scenes that we're not a storefront where people come in daily and just and they buy things, purchase things, and they go their way. So a lot of these deposits and everything help us float us through the year.
Yeah.
So
I'm just thinking through this right now as you're saying this,
Yeah.
that these deposits get used to set up the parties and events that you're getting ready
Correct.
for.
Correct.
So it's not like that's profit coming back out to you. You've got cost of goods
Right.
to prepare for these events.
Right.
And then the government has come in and said, oh, time out. You can't do that because we have a pandemic,
Right.
but Walmart can stay open.
Right. Lowe's, Home Depot.
The titty bar can stay open.
Yep.
Excuse my French.
Yeah.
I'm a little pissed about this. But families growing, marriages happen. That's not essential.
Right. And these brides they have bought
Thousands upon
dresses
thousands
and
of
things for the weddings. They've planned the venues, they planned the event and everything, and then all of a sudden, no. And it's been
Man,
like
it
that
fires me up.
roller coaster of emotions the whole year.
But so I can only imagine, John, how many people have come back to you and they go, hey, can we have our deposit back?
Right.
And you're going, well, I didn't expect the government to shut our business down.
Correct.
I didn't do this to you.
Right.
The governor and his legislators did this to us.
Yep.
How do you balance that out? How do you recover from that? What?
Well, we had when the beginning, when this all started, they had the PPE, and we had all these, you had the
The PPP, the payroll protection plan.
PPP. Sorry,
PPE, you got to wear that. Right?
PPE, yeah.
That's- too many P's.
Too many P's.
Too many people pissing in the Wheaties here.
But I
Jeez.
mean, there was things behind the scene that the state and the government supplied for their employees. Unemployment, benefits and everything. So they had they had the checks and everything. So there was things behind the scenes that were helping the small business do business and continue running.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, we were getting going, and we had 25 events.
I
in a
remember you
month
telling me. I was so
that
excited
got
for you guys.
canceled just like that on YouTube by the governor on a Friday afternoon, and it was like, are you kidding me? And now there's nothing. Now they're sitting up in Congress. They're stalling it again. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, you have businesses and people and everybody. If you're not going to let us work, at least have something to supplement
Yeah.
these guys with.
Right.
Yeah,
If you want real socialism, then
Right.
go ahead and send us a check.
Otherwise, open business and let people be responsible for themselves.
That would be the best thing, I think, for everyone.
Yeah.
I really don't understand. These are very, very bright people. So it takes me down either a conspiracy trail,
Right.
and this is what I think our politicians have to understand. We've got very bright people in the world who now, I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican or if you're a Marxist or a fascist, most people in the U.S., I would say right now, have very little faith in their government officials and government services,
Yeah.
all the different agencies.
Yeah. We just look at the election. I mean, the fraud and
Yeah.
I mean, you have thousands of witnesses in all these key swing states that have given, mind you, affidavits
Yeah.
to. I mean, you go to jail if you're
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, they're perjuring
I mean, these
themselves. if
people
they-
are
yeah.
telling the truth in
Yeah.
essence because
Yeah.
our government and these elected officials aren't, and we've caught them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is about democracy.
Yeah.
It's not about left or right. This is about democracy. And, You know, this communism that has slipped into this country is it's tearing away at our fabric.
Well, I remember, my dad was a Baptist minister, and I remember a quote, and I don't want to get this wrong, but I think it was John R. Rice. He was a old man of God on the kind of came up through the Southern Baptist ranks, 1940s, 50s, 60s. And I believe it was him who quoted this. If I get it wrong, you guys will fact check me, and I'll recant and tell you who it is. But this is what it reminds me of today. He said, "It's a battlefield, brother, not a recreation room. It's a fight, not a game." And I feel like small business is in the fight of its life.
Yeah.
That there are so many things happening in the undertow of what's going on in our communities, in all aspects, in financial services, in my business, in your business, across the board, even at small things that are going on in our local political community, in our legal community, and the wars or battles that are being waged behind the scenes, where there are people who have well-intended hearts, who are well-intended for our community,
Right.
Are in some battles that we're not even seeing right now. And I was talking with a friend at church on Sunday about this, that things that are going on just in our local community. And I hear this not only in Hampton Roads, I hear it in Tennessee, I hear about it in Texas, I hear about it in California. You know, there are people in California right now that the news doesn't talk about the protest that's going on from conservatives.
Right.
Right? And again, I'm not trying to, I don't mind telling people my political slant. But I'm willing to listen to the other side. I'm willing to dialogue with the other side.
Yeah.
And you are too. I mean, you're a very gracious listener. And that's what we're asking our governor to do today is listen to small business.
Yeah.
We are coming to you as a leader of our Commonwealth.
Yeah, why aren't we having business meetings with the governor in front of the camera, behind the camera, and talk about how we can do this? I don't want to hear a health official, another health official, or the health department who's become governor. We need to open this up, and we need to move forward.
There's a book
in
written
a safe way. In a safe way.
Yes. There's a book written by one of the world's foremost hedge fund managers, and I've talked about it on the show before, but there are two things that he says. His name's Ray Dalio. He wrote a book called Principles, and I would encourage people to read it, and we'll put it on the site and show you how to get a copy of it. But there are two things he talks about in his business and how he runs his company. And the way he runs his company, I'm not here to promote what he calls meritocracy, but I'm here to promote that we need more radical transparency and radical truth.
Right.
And I'm not talking about, here's what I think has happened in society, John. When we say truth, what I hear in front of that word truth is my truth.
Right.
Your truth.
Right.
And I go, well, no, let's back that up and let's change the word truth to opinion.
Right.
I have my opinion, you have your opinion. Some things we will agree on, other things we may not. But let's not confuse opinion with truth.
Correct.
When I come to truth and I look at this fork in the road, what's been done to small business in Virginia and many other states, the truth is the policies and these executive orders that have come down from our governors, the truth is it's killing business.
Yep.
It's killing our small entrepreneur.
Right.
Walmart will survive this. Right? Amazon will survive this. Big publicly traded companies will survive this pandemic. And you know what? There will be airlines that will survive because the government deems them too big to fail.
Right.
But you and I, as the backbone of this country, the fabric of this business world that we live in, you and I, we're not too big to fail.
Right.
We are the sacrificial lamb for a test, in my opinion, not my truth, my opinion. This is a big, massive test.
Yep.
to see if we can infiltrate socialism and communism.
Yeah, how far we can push these guys.
Yep. And can we get you to wear an armband?
Yeah.
Right now it's a mask.
Right.
But if you're Jewish, can we put a little star on your shoulder and say, well, you're Jewish? Well, now, you Jews should go over here.
Right.
Sound familiar?
We promised you things will stay the same.
Oh, you're a Protestant.
They may change a little bit.
Right.
You know, but you have to close down your business and you have to stay at home.
Yeah.
And then, now, by the way, we'll come knock at your door and we'll take you somewhere where.
Yeah. And I know, by the way, John, if Kenny doesn't agree with you and if he's breaking the rules, why don't you call this hotline and tell us about him?
Yeah.
That sounds very eerily familiar to things that happened 70 years ago.
Yeah.
Not 100 years ago, not 200 years ago, 70 years ago.
Not long ago.
All you got to do is, I've got some clients who are immigrants, like one generation removed or one family member removed from coming from places like Romania,
Right.
From Croatia, from
Right.
Serbia.
Right.
And I'm talking about the 1990s.
My chef, who we talked about on the last program, he immigrated his family from the old Czechoslovakia to Canada
Yeah.
when Hitler was coming down.
It,
I mean, it was.
and our young people, and we're taking that history out of the classroom, and we're creating a new narrative.
Well, we've let these teachers in these universities go unchecked, and these politicians go unchecked.
Yeah.
And it's our job to get involved in politics and school, and it's the job of the church to do that too,
Yeah.
and to be that voice.
Well, I talk
the
about
people.
that sometimes in my workshops with faith-based communities, is that when we go back and we even look at the Social Security Administration in the 1930s, it was well intended.
That's right.
It was well intended
right.
to protect our widows and orphans.
Yep.
That turned into this socialist government
Yep.
doing basically the job of the church. And you just gave me the high sign that you got to go pee. So let's pause 1 second. Radical transparency. John's got to go pee. And he's
Gotta
like,
go.
Kenny, my eyeballs are floating. So we're going to take a small break. Let him go potty. We're good, guys? Yeah. So everything came out okay?
Yeah. All
All right,
clear.
You're back. You're all clear. The joys of being over 50, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You never know.
I have a piddle pack over here that I just kind of let it, like the pilots use, and just kind of let it go. Not really. I am
Pretty good
completely
idea.
lying. So as you were in the restroom, one of my appointments came in this morning. He's off camera, but trust me when I tell you, he's over here behind
He's
us.
right
You
here.
can verify. He just gave us a stat. This gentleman worked in a large corporate franchise. We won't say the name. We'll protect the innocent.
Yeah.
But the CEO of this large buffet chain.
Yep.
And if I've got this wrong, you tell me and you can scream it out at me. But what he said in a webinar just a few days ago, that by the time this whole pandemic craziness is over, the restaurant industry is expecting a 20% closure rate of restaurants across our country.
No, I believe it. I mean,
1/5.
Como shut all restaurants down for inside dining yesterday in New York City. That's
It blows my
devastating.
mind. How can you shut a restaurant down inside?
This is another
but erect a
governor
tent
that
outside the restaurant that's enclosed.
Yeah.
And I'm not a scientist. I'm not an infectious disease person. I don't know anything about anything when it comes to medicine. My father-in-law's a physician. He can attest to that. Right. But if I'm in an enclosure, outside of the enclosure that I would have been in,
We need some therapy here.
yeah,
I know.
I'm
I
really
know.
starting to lose my mind over this. Is that part of the whole disease? Is that your mind goes?
Well,
I'm-
the whole thing, the whole process.
Makes me drink.
The words, the verbiage, and everything does not make sense. Does not compute.
So I get the distancing thing, John. All right, so if I have a restaurant and it's small and my tables are 2 feet apart,
Right.
and I need to distance. So therefore, I need to erect a tent so that I can spread the capacity out.
Right.
Okay, you could get me to reasonably understand and agree with that. And I've got an infectious disease client, right?
Correct.
She is an infectious disease doctor, and has been really busy, right? She's been really busy. But someone like that coming in and saying, okay, we have these distancing guidelines, and so in order to make that work, we need more space in our restaurants, and obviously the landlord's not going to come and do some tenant improvement to erect another portion of your building. That
just doesn't happen.
But I just don't get the reasonable man rule here of where that even makes any sense whatsoever for a business just to shut down when people can walk around in Walmart not socially distanced. I mean, I'm going down the aisles of Walmart and Harris Teeter and all of these other restaurant chains, grocery store chains, and folks are thinking, oh, I'm fine, I've got a mask on. But then we're told, well, the masks don't really work, right? They might help a little bit, but they're not a cure-all,
Right.
If it
Like the
actually, if
vaccine.
the masks work, when we started the mask mandate and 14 days to flatten the curve,
Right. Which we did.
wouldn't we be at a point now where the pandemic's over?
Right.
Again,
I'm asking for help
I'm not
too.
the sharpest tack
No.
in the drawer here.
No.
But thank you for sharing that stat. It kind of rolled right into where we were finishing up our podcast today, and John said, "Yeah, I got to go pee," and he was giving me the timeout sign over here. He's like, "Kenny, my eyeballs are floating." By the way, you missed, and you guys, you probably don't know I'm talking to a guy off camera here who I'm going to try to get on the podcast because he's got a lot of great information to share with us. But you missed some great food this morning. It was absolutely delicious. We tell so I'm going to bastardize what we ate this morning.
Yeah, we had the shrimp and crab cakes, and we're doing Christmas dinner. So we have shrimp and crab cake appetizer, and then we had the filet with the red wine sauce and the dauphinoise potatoes and asparagus, and we'll have the classic Yule log for dessert. So, again, we're thinking out of the box here for the holidays. So it's you do
so
what you got to
he
do.
lost a bunch of his catering jobs because the shutdown came down again. And so in innovation, it's like, well, let's go to the community and do prepackaged takeout where you can deliver it.
Just finish it in your oven at home.
And so we're going to support you in that, John. We're over Christmas, and we want our
You
listeners.
guys were the first to buy dinners. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, we got a big family. I got
Yeah, you do.
employees to feed.
Yeah.
And I want Christmas to be the celebration of Jesus. And if you don't believe in Jesus, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not here to push a religion on you.
Right.
I'm here to push relationship on you.
Which is a big difference.
It's essential to have relationship, to have community.
Mm-hmm.
Governor Northam, that's what's essential. It's community, family, friends, community supporting each other. And if a person gets COVID, we're supposed to support that person.
That's right.
We're supposed to rally around that person and usher them back into health.
Yeah. Like you would any other sickness.
Right. But when you ostracize, I feel bad. I think a lot of the reasons that our seniors have passed away is just from sheer heartbrokenness that in their season of illness and sickness from COVID or COVID factors.
You lock down these homes and you throw people in there that were sick and they're dying.
You
There's
have
a
told them
problem
you're
right
dead.
there.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's not if, but when.
Yeah, and then you don't let family in. And I mean, we had to quote unquote rescue my mother-in-law over the summer to bring her back here.
And she's alive and well.
And she's alive and well and thriving.
Yeah. And what scares me about that, John, and again, this is where my conspiracy mind starts going off when I go back and I read history, and I love history,
Right.
because history has a way of repeating itself. That we
If you're
do
ignorant-
not
if
want,
you're ignorant to
if you're right, We do not want this to repeat itself where people end up in behavior modification.
Yeah.
Wearing the mask is a behavior modification.
It is. It's communism.
Yeah. And I'm just putting it out there. And there's going to be a lot of people who hate on us for saying that. There's going to be a lot of people who disagree with us.
Again, is it truth or is it opinion?
Yeah. And what we're sharing with people is an opinion based around the facts that we know. Mm-hmm. It's not my truth, it's my opinion. Right. It's your opinion. Right. And what we want to be able to say is the opinion that both of us have is that small business needs help right now.
They've been strangled this year.
Yeah. Especially your industry, the restaurant industry, the catering industry. The gentleman sitting off screen here, I remember him sharing some financial numbers with me about one of their businesses that it just bled and hemorrhaged money month over month over months. And at some point in time, a smart businessman goes, look, it's time for me to bow out of this dance because I can't do it anymore.
I mean, when you have to start taking out loans and stuff to support your business to make sure you're going to get to the next season, there's a problem there, you know? And there's nothing that the government's going to do other than you tie your hands and say you can't do it.
With the trickle-down effect, John, for the highly compensated.
Right.
So there are people like some in this room that have had great jobs.
Right.
And they've been laid off because a government mandate around an illness. And again, I'm not diminishing. I just had friends last night, their mom and dad both have COVID right now, and they're sick. They're really sick. Yeah. But they're believers like you and I. They got their parents treatment, and then they brought them home, and they're caring for them at home and isolating them from the rest of their community.
Right.
They're doing the appropriate things as if it were one of the flu strains versus one of the SARS strains.
Right.
So, you know, I want to end this on a positive note today, and the positive note is that in chaos lies opportunity.
That's right.
When bad things happen to good people prevail.
Yes, they do.
And you're a good person, John Telfer. You will prevail.
God. Thank you.
So
thanks for having me again.
Yeah. Go get them.
It.
Go crush business. Go crush the community with something that you're
Merry
passionate
Christmas.
about. Yeah. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to our listeners. Yes. We will come out of this on the other side better, smarter.
Yep.
Governor Northam.
Let's go.
You will come out of this better if you really look at this from the aspect of a small business owner.
And listen to your people.
Listen to your people.
Yep.
Open up small business in Virginia and the rest of the country. Be a leader to not bow to fear.
Correct. Yep.
Fearing COVID doesn't make it go away. Mm-mm. Being responsible and helping each other thrive in times of chaos is how we crush fears, how we crush COVID.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
So, Merry Christmas to everyone who listened to this special episode today. Merry Christmas to Chef by Design. Thanks for coming. Oh, man, you made my day with an early morning meal. Can we just do that every day? Can we just have a nice...
I think we need to do it every time we do a podcast.
Yeah, all right.
I'm good for the day now.
I love you. I love Marcy.
We just need to have our wives here now.
Yeah, we can do that. I love what you guys are doing, and prayers of blessing and prosperity.
To you guys, too.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys do an amazing job.
Thank you.
So,
and there's people behind it. I want to thank my guys behind the scenes who make this happen, because Ian's got to jump through some hoops to get this out, and we got to promote it so that people know that they can order from you over Christmas.
These guys
or
are rock
Christmas.
stars.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing over here. They just,
they help you along.
They're making,
I got guys to tell me different. They make us look good.
Right, exactly right. So thank you guys for helping us get this out to the community. So, hey, God bless you, man. We love you. We'll see you soon. Take care.